Hello, everyone. Welcome. Let's wait for see if anybody jumps on here. Hello, hello, hello. Let me pull up the comments here. How are you guys doing? I hope you're ready for tonight's project. I'm so excited. We're going to learn how to make a custom box. Any size box you need. I'm going to show you how to do that. So I'm excited. Hi, Amy. Welcome. I figure with Christmas right around the corner, we're going to need boxes. This would be good too for favors at the Thanksgiving table. You could put little boxes with people's name on them. You could give a little treat. So you can make. Oh, they are? The captions are on? Oh, cool. I don't know how I did that, but yay. Hi, Donna. Welcome. So I figure this will be great for this time of the season. We always need some kind of box to put something in. So I have a download in my VIP group that will load probably in about 15 minutes. It should update into the group. And it's a template for how to do the custom boxes. So if you guys would like that, head over to my VIP group, become a member, join, and we can get, you can download the template for this. And last week I did the gift card with the gift bag on the inside. The template for that is also on there. So hi, Diane. Welcome. Oh my gosh, it's snowing. I haven't even looked outside. I don't even want to. I don't want to look outside. I don't care. I don't want to. I don't want to see it snowing. I don't like the snow. I want nothing to do with the snow. So the VIP group, I'll go into that first, and then we'll talk about the seasonal sale. My VIP group, I have. Anybody can join. It's a public group. I'm wanting to grow that group. I can interact more. I feel like we can do more in the group setting than I can on my business page. So with that, if you guys can join it, if you haven't joined it yet, I'm trying to reach 100 group members. I'd like to reach more than that, but that's my goal right now. Once I reach 100 group members in my VIP, I'm going to give away a stamp set. So I will do a post on the page and we'll do a giveaway once I reach 100 group members. So if you guys can share my group, get it out there, have people join it. It's going to be a lot of different things you can do in the group. Like I said, I'm uploading files in there. So hopefully more and more people will find it and they'll become a member. The seasonal sale, have you guys, yeah, Donna, you're with me, huh? Snow, yuck, 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 yuck. Have you guys shopped the seasonal sale? If you're not aware of the sale, it started today and it runs through the 18th. It is 10% on certain punches, 15% on certain stamps, 20% on certain dies, embossing folders, and DSP. So if you guys like things on sale, now is the time to go shop. So go check it out. I know some of the stuff is selling quickly. So I'm not sure everything that was on sale, if it's still available. But when we have these sales, people just jump on them. So you got to get in there and you got to get your sales. And that's going on through the 18th. But like I said, if there's something that you want, don't ever hesitate. I've heard from so many people who have said they wanted a certain stamp set, a certain die, certain paper, whatever it is, and they waited, and then all of a sudden you can't order it anymore. With everything going on with the problems with shipping and products right now, the market is so unstable. So it is what it is. If it's something you like and it's something you truly want, the best advice I can give you is get it right away. So that's fun. The seasonal sales happening. Let me just peek over and see you guys. Let's see. All right. So, what else do I? Oh, and join my team. I'd love to have you on my team. My team, most of my team is on here with me. I love it. Thank you guys so much for the support. We have a great group of ladies that are in my team. We bounce ideas off of each other. We share photos of cards we're making or whatever. We talk amongst each other all the time. We message. We have group swaps, card swaps, which are super fun. Amy places, or oh, that's awesome. That's what I'm looking at, the paper, mostly paper on the sale, because that's a good price to get that paper. Plus, tying in with the team stuff, when you are a part of a team, when you're a demonstrator, you do get a discount. You start off at 20% and then you can go up to 25%, which doesn't take long to bump up to 25% off. That's on top of any sales. So if you wanted to get a punch, and you're a demonstrator, you get actually 35% off on punches because you get 25% plus the 10%. So that's always fun, especially for us demonstrators when a sale comes up, because we're like, oh, goody. So definitely being part of the team is fun. There's no pressure. You run your business the way you want to, or you want to keep it as a hobby, you do it as a hobby. But I'm here. Oh, Trish. Oh my gosh, it's been forever. Hello. Welcome, Trish. I'm so excited to see you. So I've been, we just are a happy team. It's fun. There's no pressure. And my team members here will tell you guys that it is a lot of fun to be part of the Stampin' Up! Community. You have a huge community of stampers, different ideas, different things. So it's up to you. Like I said, you could be a hobby demo, or you could run it as a business. It's completely up to you. So that's my spiel for right now. We're going to get into yes. Oh, yes, I forgot about that. Thank you, Amy. Amy has said that we also get sneak peeks at new products, usually a month ahead of time. We actually just were able to take a look at the mini catalog that will be available in January for customers. We got to take a sneak peek of that the other day. I can't show you or tell you anything about it, but it's amazing. There's so many awesome spring products in there. So that's going to be super fun. And we can pre-order December 1st out of that catalog. So that's one of the awesome perks about one of the many, is that you can get a sneak peek at products that are coming. We get first dibs at different news and stuff that's happening, and we get to pre-order products before the general public. And if you were thinking about it, the minute you join, you get access to whatever we have access to. So you could do the pre-order on December 1st if you decided to join today, or you decided to join December 3rd, you would still be able to get in on that pre-order of the new products coming out in the spring catalog. So it's a lot of fun. So let me flip you guys down, and we're going to get right to it. I want to make sure that we are not upside down. So let's see here. We're going to make a custom box, and I also have a card that I'm going to share with you guys too. Super cute card, super simple. I want to make sure it's not upside down. Let me see. It takes a second for it to, okay, we are upside down. So let me fix that. Let's see. Okay, we should be not upside down anymore. So this is the card. Super cute. I love the stamp set. Christmas Scotty, it's called. And this paper, I had bought this paper a while ago, and I just started using it 3 days ago, and I'm out of it. Well, I have like 1.5 sheets left. So that's going to be on my next order, this paper. Let me show you guys. Well, this is the box first. Let me show you this. So the whole reason why I created this box is because I bought a bunch of cappuccinos, French vanilla cappuccinos, and I thought it would be fun to give them away as little gifts. They're very they're not costly. The big box of them are, but if you break them down individually, it would be a cute little gift. This would make a good little coworker gift. You could pop them in a box, put it on their desk, and just say, I've been thinking of you, or Merry Christmas, or whatever you wanted to do. But I was looking at YouTube, and I could not find a single box for the K-Cups. They had boxes that hold 3 of them, but I could not find one that was single. So I went on this mission to figure out how to do this, and I came across a couple of videos that had me stumped because my head always hurts when it comes to math. So I didn't know if I could do this, but it's pretty simple. Once I watched it 3,000 times, it clicked in my brain, and it's actually pretty simple to make any kind of custom box you need. So that's what I did for this, is I made a custom box. This Keurig K-Cup, which I think they're pretty much all the same. I know there's some different machines with some different, but they're pretty much the same size. You could do hot chocolates they have. You could do coffees. I'm not a coffee fan, so I like the cappuccinos. But this measures like 2¼ by 2. So that's what this box measures. It measures big enough to fit that in there. And it's the perfect size. And then you have your little top. So you can make this out of cardstock, the base, and then the top I use DSP. So I have a template that I downloaded. So I'll show you guys. So this will be in the VIP group, and I will download this on our team page too, for you guys. And there are instructions with it. I have a little write-up of different things on it. But this is basically what you're going to need. So you can take any item. So let's say this punch you guys wanted to mail. Put this punch in a pretty cute little box. So what you would do is you would measure the length, the width, and then the depth of it. So this one would be, so this is not a square item. So with this, you would measure it. So I'm just taking it off the camera here and trying to see what it measures over here. It's about 5 by 3, and then it's probably about 1¼ inch thick. So what you would do is, let's do the box. I know I'm confusing. I'm confusing myself. Let's do the box, because that's what we're actually going to make today. So I'll show you guys how to do that. But any object, and I'll show you later how to get something that's not square, how we make that box. So with a squared item, basically I use the same measurements for this cappuccino. I just did 2¼ It's 2 by 2¼ but I did 2¼ the whole way around to have the square little box. So let me find my marker here. So these 2 measurements right here are the outside of the box. So that's going to be this area here. So we know that it's 2¼ Did I do that right? See, now I'm all messed up on the camera part of it. Let me see what yes. No. 2, 4, no. Okay, guys. This is what happens when I go live. I become brain dead. Let's see. 6¼ Okay. So this would be 2 and 2 and then 2¼ because I don't know. I get all mixed up with these numbers. So, and here's the hot mess live coming. So this is 2¼ by 2. So we want the box to be 2¼ on the inside. This is the inside measurement of the piece. So that's this area out here. So we want to make sure that that fits, because this little lip here, that's where the quarter comes in. Otherwise, it would be 2 by 2. But then the sides of the box, how tall it is 2. So that's where this comes in, 2 by 2. So, and then the 2 1/4, like I said, that includes that lip there. So basically it's going to be a square box. So you only need to do the measurements on this top line. Okay, so that's 2 by 2, and then the inside is 2 1/4. So you add those up. This is going to be the bottom. This is 6 1/4. And then your top is going to be, where's the top piece of paper here? I'm using this designer series paper. Yes, thank you guys. It worked out great in my mind and when I was speaking and doing my pre-live, but I get all flustered when I get on the camera. So this is the DSP that I'm using. So with this box, you can see that the DSP covers only half. Because I thought, you know, you want to show the bottom part and the top to make it look like a box that looks cute. So what you want to figure out is how much you want here. That's going to be your outside pieces. So I just took half of 2 and I did 1 by 1. So that's going to be the width of your top. You still want the inside piece 2 1/4. This isn't supposed to be on the bottom. It's supposed to be down here. 2 1/4 by 1. No wonder why nobody follows me. They're all like, wow, she's an idiot. So that would be the top of your box. So you could do the same exact size for the top and the bottom, but with that, you're going to take your designer series paper and it's going to cover the whole bottom. So it's up to you. If you want to do that, you can do that. But I like how you have the designer series paper and then your bottom like that. So then that's going to be 2 and 2 is 4 1/4. So that is the size for the bottom paper that you're going to need, cardstock, and that's the DSP for the top that you're going to need, the size that you're going to need cut. So let's show you guys. I have this one already pre-filled out, which that's probably what I should have done with that other one. So let's say your item that you have is 7 1/2 long, 5 1/2 wide, and then 1 inch deep. So what you're going to do is your middle lines here will always be the length and the width. So if your object is not a true square that you're going to make the box, so this is a square that we're making. If you need a box that is not a different size, you're going to take the object. So let's say it's a stamp. I don't know if that's even how big the stamp cases are. Let's see. I think it's pretty close, but I think it's more like 8. Yeah, 7 3/4. So let's just say you wanted to make the box and you wanted to give away a stamp set. Okay. So you take the measurements here, which would be, let's just say, for example, 5 1/2, and then the 7 1/2. Now this here is, let's see, that's probably 1/2 inch. Yeah. So this is about 1/2 inch high. So I went with 1 inch. Just, you know, you can go a little higher for the box. So that's how high the box is going to be. So you would do these 2 lines because it's not going to be square. So this is what you're going to need for your bottom box. You're going to need your cardstock measured 9 1/2 by 7 1/2. Are you guys with me? Am I really messing everybody up? I hope I'm explaining it right. And then for the top, because you want a little bit of the bottom showing, I just cut that number in half. So I did 1/2, 1/2, and then you're going to use the same measurements, the 5 by 7 1/2 right here. This is going to equal your DSP that you're going to need 6 1/2 by 8 1/2. So I already made that box just to show you. So that's what this box would measure out to be. So this is the difference between that box, and then your little square box. So this one's a little bit easier because you don't have as many numbers. But, and I wonder if this, I don't think this will fit in there because it needed to be 7 3/4. Yeah, see, that's too tight of a fit. I don't think the box top will fit on there right. I could almost get away with it. Well, kinda, but it pops out there. But, so you would just want to measure your, this probably could have went, if I wanted to do a stamp set in there, which I should have probably measured that. I don't know, I just picked these numbers out of the air. But, so 7 3/4 would fit a stamp set in there perfectly. So then you have this little box to do. Oh, good. You guys are following me. Good. You guys have been around me long enough to know my hot mess routine. So that's the box. So you can do any size custom box by using this very terrible explanation that I did for you guys. So if you're doing a square box, you only need the top of the bottom. You know, you only need one line of the bottom and one line of the top because they're going to be the same. But if you're doing a weird shaped box, then you're going to need both of these. So I've already pre-cut the box here. Yeah, let me find it. Oh, right here. So I've already cut out the size of the bottom and the top. So the red here, real red, is going to be the bottom, which is measured 6 1/4 by 6 1/4. Now, there's going to be a little trick that you guys need to do every time you make these boxes. So the top will follow, or top will fit on nicely. So when you see your measurement 6 1/4 by 6 1/4, what you're going to do is you're going to actually measure it. You're going to go to the 6 1/4, which is right here. You're going to pull it back 1/16. So just that little line below the 6 1/4. So that's only for the bottom of the box, and you're going to cut it on that little 1/16. So it's not going to be a true 6 1/4. And you're going to flip it when you cut it and do it the same on 6 1/4. Pull it back to the just 1/16 of an inch and then cut it that way. So that's going to make your bottom a little bit smaller, so that top will slide on nicely instead of it being real firm and tight, and you're going to have a hard time with it. So with this, we already established that our cappuccino cup, the height of it is 2. So we're going to score this at 2 inches all the way around. Make sure you're scoring. Let me make sure I'm on here. You're scoring and not cutting. So you're just going to spin it. So we're going to go to 2. Oh, good. I'm so happy. You know, in my head when I'm hearing myself talk, so you're going to go 2 all the way around on my lives, I'm thinking I'm blumbering it and making a complete fool of myself and just destroying the project, but I guess I do all right. So your box bottom's going to look like that. I know the score lines are hard to see in there. And then you're going to do for the top of the box, where is that designer series paper? Right underneath here. This one here, we're going to keep it the true measurement of 4 1/4. So you're going to go and you're going to measure it, cut it out at 4 1/4. And then this one here, because we want our top to be not as long as the box, we're going to score this at 1 instead of 2. So, and just the bottom, just trimming off that little bit on the bottom makes a huge difference. They call it a smidge, I guess, but I followed it to where, so if you wanted to do the 5, you would just go just below the 5 to that 1/16 and cut it there. So it's hard to see, but these are all scored. So you're going to want to bring in your bone folder. And another tip to tell you guys, when you're scoring your DSP, do not get too aggressive with the scoring blade because you can rip it. Same thing when you're using the bone folder. don't go so aggressive with it because the DSP is a little thinner than our cardstock. It does tend to rip if you're a little aggressive. So you just want to go ahead and just fold these on all of the scored lines. So they're all scored. So then you're going to need your paper snips. And I'm going to show you. So the corners are the ones that are going to be cut. So what you want to do is just do a little like angle cut in and then cut right on the line. And then do another. So you're making little tabs. So you're going to do that all the way around. And the same thing with your DSP. Just work on the four corners. Those are the only ones that you would cut. So the middles would not be cut. So I've already pre-done that just to save some time. So let me bring those in. So it should look like this. And then your top should look like that. So you have your little angles in there. So I found the liquid glue was the best one to use for this. So you're going to bring these in like this. So what I did was I just folded these little tabs over and just put some glue on the tabs closer to the edge. Not right on the edge because it will spread. So I think just like that. And then fold these in, and then you want to make sure that these edges line up. You don't want them to be uneven because that will affect your box top going on. So you just want to make sure that they're lined up evenly so it forms that nice square. So with the liquid glue, you want to make sure you just squeeze it for a little bit just to hold, and then you can work on the other side. You could do the tear and tape too, but I don't know. I just found the liquid glue was fastest and easiest to do. Fold that in. Make sure your box top or your boxes line up. And then there's the bottom, and then your cappuccino will fit right in there perfectly. So you could even put some little, I don't know, sprigs of paper in there or whatever to make it really festive. So there's the bottom. And then the top, you're going to do the same exact way. So we're going to take these little tabs. Just make sure, like I said, make sure these corners line up there. And do the same thing here with these tabs. Yeah, the tear and tape is nice too. It's very strong adhesive. So either one you want to use, go ahead and use them. The liquid glue is nice too. It's very strong, but it can get messy. So then there's the top. If this works out, this should work out properly. See how that goes on nicely? Because you cut that box a smidge under, that lid just goes on so nicely, just like that. Yeah, it does. You're right, Trish. The glue, liquid glue, does give you time to play with it, and it gives you a little wiggle room. So then there's your little customized box for your cappuccino. And then you can take your ribbon, which this one here is the Real Red ruffled, mini ruffled ribbon. And, you know, you could cut out a tag. you could do whatever you wanted, but you could tie your ribbon on here. I'm no good at tying the bows, but let's see how well I do. Not very well, I don't think. See, I'm not very good at tying the bows, but you get the idea. You can tie a bow on there, and you're good to go. And then I thought it would be cute to do a card. This card is so easy to do. And this is the same DSP. Let me show you that because I don't have any really left. So let me show you in the catalog where it is. Why do I have this one marked? Is this it? Oh, yes. So this is the DSP. This is called the Sweetest Christmas. And I bought this, like I said, probably about a month and a half ago. And, oh good, you can't tie a bow either, Donna. I don't know why I can't, but I just can't. And this paper, I pulled it out the other day, a couple days ago, and I fell in love with it. It is super Christmassy paper. And it goes along with the sweet candy canes, stamp set and dies, and the Christmas banners. So the one paper here, these candy canes, you can actually use these dies to cut these candy canes out of that DSP. So it's really, really cute paper. So that is the paper that I used here. And you have, like I said, you've got like some candy cane designs on one side and then the stripes. If I could find, let me see. I made some Christmas cards. Hold on. Let me see. They're in here. I'll show you guys. So in this sweet candy canes and the dies, you have this die here that cuts out this shape here. It actually will not cut out. Like I cut this, I put a 5 1/4 by 4 piece of Whisper White in there and put the die on there. So it cut out this design. So if you wanted to do a card base and use that, that could be the front of your card. Or you could cut out the design and it lines up really nicely with this paper. So this is this striped paper. I put that white piece on there and you can line it up with the stripes. And then I punched out the candy canes and I used Sweet Sorbet on this. So I thought that was a fun little Christmas card. It's kind of non-traditional colors, that pink. It's off red, but I thought that was super cute. Very easy to make. And then let me see if I have. I did them all pretty much the same. And then here's another one with the same DSP, just a different color of it with the candy canes. And that's with Garden Green. Hi, Shelly. Welcome. Welcome, welcome. And then this one I think was one of my favorites, that DSP. There's the pool party in there. So I pulled the pool party out on the card base with the candy canes and then did the Merry and Bright. So it's pretty simple to do with this. So that paper's super fun. Yeah, I had fun making those cards. I donate Christmas cards to vets. And I've been making them. I'm at 140 and I'm not sure how many more I need. I donate them to my 31 lady who sells little totes. They're like this size, the ones that kind of fit a tissue in them. And she sells them for 25 bucks. You give her the 25 bucks, she'll buy the tote and she'll fill them with stuff and then they hand them out and donate them to veterans. So I always donate Christmas cards, packs of 10 that she puts in the totes. And I love making Christmas cards, so it's fun. But anyways, let's get back to our project. So this stamp set is fun. Christmas Scotty with the punch that comes with it. You can put it together, bundle it together, not put it together. You can bundle it together. And this dog is so cute. So you can punch out this one here, the stamped one, or you can just punch them out. So let me find my paper here. So that's what we're going to do first is not stamping the dog. I'm going to punch out the dog. So you just need a scrap piece of basic black to cut out or punch out the dog. So there's your little pup. And then I took a scrap piece of this paper here that we're using, and I cut that out for his bow tie. I thought that would be cute to kind of tie it together. Let me get those pieces out of the way. Yeah, Christmas cards are my favorite to make. I could make Christmas cards all the time. I love Christmas cards. So I'm going to set those guys aside right now. I cut out a piece of basic white. This size here is 2 3/4 by 4. And then you're going to need a piece of basic black, which will layer right behind it. And that one is cut 2 7/8 by 4 1/8. And I'll leave all the measurements. They should be in the video already. But we're going to stamp on this one. In this stamp set, there's this one's so cute. May your days be furry and bright. I love that one. So I'm going to use Merry Christmas and May your days be furry and bright. There's a little wolf in there. So cute stamp set. So I'm going to take out the Merry Christmas and the other sentiment. And I do have Sweet Sorbet because that actually matches with the paper. So I pulled that color in. So let's see here. Let's do the Merry Christmas. So the Merry Christmas is going to... punching the dogs. The Merry Christmas is going to go right up at the top. And then I'm just going to use my simple